right. So here's the story of how a completely unqualified and panicked human being, ended up delivering a baby in the backseat of a car. I still can't believe it happened. It started like any other day. I was on my way home from work, stuck in traffic and thinking about what I was going to eat for dinner. I decided to stop by the grocery store to grab some snacks because, priorities. The parking lot was packed, and I had to park way in the back near this beat-up minivan. As I was walking toward the store, I heard someone shout, "Help." At first, I thought it was just a kid yelling, but then I heard it again, louder and more desperate. I turned around and saw a woman standing by the open door of the minivan, clutching her stomach and leaning against the car. She looked like she was in serious pain. "Are you okay?" I asked, rushing over. "I'm in labor," she said, her voice strained. "The baby's coming." Now, I don't know about you, but that's not something you expect to hear in a grocery store parking lot. My brain immediately went into panic mode. Okay. What do you need? Should I call 911? "Yes," she shouted. "And hurry." I fumbled for my phone, my hands shaking as I dialed. The operator picked up, and I stammered something like, "There's a woman in labor in a parking lot. The baby's coming. What do I do?" The operator stayed calm, thank God, and started giving me instructions. "Is she lying down? Can you see the baby's head?" I turned back to the woman, who was now sitting in the back seat of the van, breathing heavily. Not yet," I said, peeking in, trying not to freak out. "Okay, stay with her," the operator said. "Help her stay calm and comfortable. The paramedics are on their way." I relayed all of this to the woman, who was clearly not calm but was doing her best to focus on breathing. "What's her name?" I asked, trying to keep her talking. "Emily," she said between breaths. My husband went inside to grab a few things. He's not answering his phone. Of course. The guy was probably picking out cereal while his wife was about to give birth in the parking lot. As I was talking to her, she suddenly grabbed my arm and said, "I think the baby's coming now." I froze. No. The paramedics are coming. Just hang on a little longer." But Emily wasn't listening. She leaned back, gripping the seat, and let out a sound that can only be described as primal. I glanced down, and yep, there it was. The baby's head was starting to crown. The head's here." I shouted into the phone. "Okay," the operator said calmly. "You need to help guide the baby out. Make sure the baby's airway is clear, and be ready to support the head." "Wait, what?" "Me," I squeaked. "Yes, you," the operator said firmly. "You can do this." At this point, I didn't have a choice. I took a deep breath, rolled up my sleeves, and did my best to follow the operator's instructions. Emily was pushing, and within a few minutes, which felt like an eternity, the baby's head was fully out. "You're doing great, Emily," I said, even though I had no idea what I was doing. A few more pushes, and suddenly, there was a tiny, crying baby in my hands. I was so shocked I almost dropped my phone. "The baby's out," I yelled. "Great job," the operator said. "Make sure the baby is breathing and wrap them in something warm." I looked around, panicked, until Emily pointed to a blanket on the seat. I wrapped the baby up as gently as I could and handed them to her. She was crying, laughing, and thanking me all at once. I was just standing there, covered in sweat, and probably looking like I'd just run a marathon. Right then, her husband came running out of the store, holding a bag of groceries and looking completely bewildered. "What happened?" he asked, staring at the baby in Emily's arms. "What happened?" Emily said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "I had the baby in the parking lot. That's what happened." The paramedics arrived a few minutes later, and I've never been so relieved to see flashing lights in my life. They checked on Emily and the baby, who were both perfectly fine, and told me I'd done a great job. I felt like I deserved a medal, or at least a stiff drink. Before they left, Emily grabbed my hand and said, "Thank you. I'll never forget this." "Neither will I," I said, still in shock. I never got their last name or saw them again, but I like to think their kid will grow up hearing the wild story of how some random guy in a parking lot delivered them. And now, every time I see a minivan, I can't help but think, please not again.